Hi, how are you? Thank you for stopping in or stopping in again. So today I'm working on the snail that I was dumping the old resin into as I was making the octopus. So I'm going to finish that now. It's already finished, as you'll see, but I'm finishing it now in the video. The resin has to be mixed for 5 minutes, and of course the hardener was very yellow. We talked about that before, but it seemed to work very well on the octopus. It really hardened up nicely. So I don't expect this snail to look very nice because I was dumping the old purple resin in there, so it's definitely going to have straight lines. But I'm just going to add more color to it and see if we can get it to a position. I'm sorry, I burped. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we're going to try to get it somewhere where it doesn't look too horrible. So it does hold a lot of resin, so I'm just trying to mix up what I can. And it looks like I'm working on blue, so yay. Anyway, I hope you've all been doing well. I had such hay fever on the weekend, but I'm fine now. My nose is still a bit runny, but what can you do? It's hay fever. And it was really, really bad this year. And yeah, so happy I'm still alive, I guess. You can see that I have got chunks of resin in there as well as the stuff that I poured from the extra resin that I had for the octopus, because when resin is hardening, it gets very hot. So all of this is going to mesh together, I hope. Remember, I'm not a tutorial. I barely know what I'm doing half the time, and I'm certainly not as experienced enough to advise anyone. The only thing that I will advise you to do, as I've said over and over again, is wear proper PPE. You need a respirator, glasses, and gloves, because it will affect your lungs, your eyes, and your skin. So just be careful. Like, you can have the toughest skin in the world. Why take the chance? So just do that. That's the only thing I know for a fact, is you have to wear proper PPE. And you should wear proper PPE regardless of what you're doing. Know what you're doing, know what the dangers are, and take care of it. Like, I was known to wear a surgical mask sometimes when I was doing diamond paintings, just because the glue smelled so bad. I wasn't trying to stop the fumes. I just didn't want to smell them. And I'm sure they wouldn't be, well, I can't say I'm sure. I don't think that they were harmful. I just couldn't stand the smell of some of the glue on some of the diamond paintings. But yeah, that's life, right? So I'm digging out as much resin as I can, I guess, to fill this in, and it's going to take a lot of resin. I think it took 6 ounces, maybe, but yeah. I hope everyone has had a good weekend and you're having a great week. I've been just hanging around the YouTubes and checking out other people and seeing what's up. And yeah, there's some really talented people, I'm telling you. And I found another channel. It's a technical channel. The guy talks about how to buy a monitor, how to buy a PC, how to buy a laptop or whatever. And he's a brand new channel. He's only got 3 videos. I can't believe the amount of views he's got. But I mean, he was informative, and I certainly learned a lot from him. And I think he's called Mystery Tech. So if if you're planning on buying a computer or a monitor or a laptop, definitely check out his channel, because this guy's going places and he's giving really, really good advice. Even I could understand it, and he was talking in like algebra. So if I can understand it, he's doing good. Anyway, yeah, so I talked to my son yesterday, and he's so busy at work, he's not going to make it home for my birthday, which is the 15th of this month, or Christmas. So I'm going to try not to miss him too much, and I'm going to decorate my house and do all the things that I would do ordinarily, because what else can I do? I'm not going to sit here and cry about it, that's for sure. Although I do feel like crying about it sometimes. But, you know, we raise our kids so that they'll go off into the world and do the best that they can, and he certainly is. So that's good. And maybe I'll get together with friends at Christmas. That often happens. It's good to have friends that take care of us old, lonely people anyway. But if it doesn't happen, you know, I don't care. Like, what if there was a great big snowstorm and you couldn't get out anyway? You'd be alone, so what does it matter why? Well, I'm getting into a really depressing subject, aren't I? I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm just working away, filling up. Oh, this is the second batch I made, so maybe it was 8 ounces. But how much did I... Yeah, I think it might have been 8 ounces, but I did make a little surprise at the end, so with some leftover stuff. It looks like this might be the last of the resin that I'm going to make for this. I can't remember, honestly. I did this on Friday night, very late, so I don't know, this old memory is... and after the hay fever episode, like, I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on around my world. But I did get snow tires on my car. My son said it snowed twice so far where he is. And so, I don't know. He's further north than I am. I'm south, but he is further north for sure. So hopefully we'll have a nice, quiet winter without too much snow. I've been watching an American weather guy called Ryan Hall, y'all, and he seems to be pretty accurate in his forecast. And he's not even, like, he'll show, like, Buffalo, New York, and we're just north of that, northwest of that, so our weather's often included. So with El Nino, it could be mild in our area, or it could be really, really bad. And I'm hoping for mild. I think we all are. What else did he say? Oh, that the Atlantic is much warmer than it should be right now. So that might affect, well, obviously it's going to affect the weather. But how it affects the weather, I guess all of our guesses are as good as each other's. So I'm just adding more junk to the snail to bulk it up a bit. The more junk you put in it, like the more leftover. When you're cleaning the silicone mixing pots, once it's hardened, you can just snap the resin out of it. Like, I just roll it in my hands, and then the bottom will just pop up and all the stuff at the side. So I just throw that into what I'm working on. So I'm using that bulk, so I'm not using as much fresh resin. So that works out well. I'm sure that there's people that put all kinds of things in resin just to bulk it up a bit. Resin is very expensive. I don't know how much I paid for the stuff at Michael's, but I think it must have been close to $40, $39.99, something like that. But I'm very happy with it, and I really wish I would have done this a long time ago. But so much was going on in my life, and or maybe I just thought there was so much going on in my life. Maybe I was just lazy. I don't know. But I was doing other things anyway. I hope you're all keeping busy doing other things, mostly crafting and getting ready for Christmas. I guess Americans have to get ready for Thanksgiving next, but we go right from Halloween to Christmas. That's it for us. We've had our Thanksgiving in October, and yeah, I had a really hard time taking this mold off of the resin because it's so thin. I was afraid that I was going to tear it. You can see how thin it is there. And it came off easily. It was just that I was kind of scared. And the only part that gave me a hard time was the eye stalks on the snail, because when I finally got there, I thought I was going to break them off because they just weren't coming out. I had to actually cut a big section of it out because I just had it on my lap trying to pull it as gently as I could. But yeah, I was really pulling it, but I was so afraid that I was going to break those eye stalks. But I think it turned out okay, even though it's just mostly stripes. I did let it cure for at least 24 hours. And yeah, those eye stalks were... I wish I would have done it differently. Because the head and the top were at the bottom, when I poured in the extra stuff, it just made a big stripe there. And it's supposed to be a pencil holder, but I think it could be a planter too. I think I saw pictures of it with a plant in it. Maybe an air plant or something that does, maybe a cactus, something that doesn't need so much soil. But anyway, that's it. And oh yes, and there's the extra piece that I made. Now that little teddy bear is very thin. So because it's symmetrical, I thought that I could make another one and just glue it together. Or you don't have to. You could just put a screw in its head and use it as a dangler, I guess. I wouldn't use it as a necklace. But I would like it to be a little bit more hefty, so I would like it to have, make two identical and then put them together, maybe with UV resin if it's not opaque, because as long as you can see through it, you can cure it with UV resin. I think. Remember, I'm not a tutorial, I think. But I think this little snail turned out great, and